All right, hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be diving into something really fundamental in Mandarin Chinese, how to talk about where someone is from. And let me tell you, this is about so much more than just memorizing vocabulary. It's really about uncovering the beautiful logic and the culture that's built right into the grammar of the language. You know, one of the best ways to really get a new language is to train your brain to see the patterns. So I want you to think of yourselves as linguistic detectives for our session today. We're going to treat this like a puzzle. We'll look at the data, we'll hunt for clues, and from those clues, we're going to figure out a grammatical rule that you can then use for, well, pretty much any country. Okay, so this brings us to the big question for today, the real heart of our investigation. How does Mandarin Chinese actually describe where a person is from? You know, how does the language build the idea of being American or Chinese or Japanese? This is the puzzle we're going to solve together. All right, let's put on our detective hats and look at our first set of clues. Here on the screen, you see 4 terms for 4 different nationalities. Now, your job is to find the repeating element. What's the shared character? What's the shared sound? Listen very closely as I pronounce them. 中国人美国人日本人英国人 Did you catch it? That little piece that's the same at the end of every single one? That's our first major clue. Now, that common sound you're hearing, ren, can be a little tricky for English speakers, and that's totally normal. The R sound isn't quite like the R in red. You want to curl your tongue back just a little bit, kind of like the R sound in the English word shore. Let's give it a try. Ren, rin. The other key sound is in 中国. That J sound is also made with the tongue curled back, just lightly touching the roof of your mouth. It's not the J sound you hear in jungle. Listen again. 中, 中. Honestly, getting those 2 sounds right will be a huge step forward for your pronunciation. So, if you spotted that all 4 of those terms ended with the very same character and the very same sound, you've found the key. You've cracked the first part of the code. The entire pattern, this whole grammatical structure we're talking about, it all comes down to understanding one single, incredibly powerful and foundational character in the Chinese language. And here it is. This is the one. The character is ren, and it's pronounced ren. Its meaning couldn't be more simple or more important. Person or people. It's such a universal concept, and because of that, this character is, well, it's everywhere in Chinese. Understanding this one character is absolutely non-negotiable for any serious student of the language. Now, what's really fascinating here, and this is a great example of the genius of the Chinese writing system, is where this character actually comes from. Ren is a pictograph. That means in its earliest forms, thousands of years ago, it was literally a simple drawing of a person walking, seen from the side. You could see the head, the body, the 2 legs. The modern character is just a more stylized version of that ancient drawing. So when you see a run, you can literally picture a person. It's like a little piece of history that helps lock the meaning in your brain. So here's the big takeaway from all this. These nationality words, they're not just a random list of vocabulary you have to brute force memorize. No. They are the product of an incredibly clear, consistent, and frankly, beautifully simple grammatical formula. Once you get this formula, you don't just know 4 nationalities. You suddenly have the key to talk about any nationality in Mandarin. Let's break it down step by step. The logic is so wonderfully straightforward. Step 1, you just start with the name of the country. So for China, that's 中国, 中国. Step 2, you simply attach our key character, ren, ren. And boom, step 3, you put them together. 中国 plus ren becomes 中国人. Literally a China person. In English, of course, we just say Chinese. This elegant little structure is the building block for this entire concept. Now, to really appreciate this formula, it helps to go a layer deeper and deconstruct the country names themselves. Let's start with 中国, 中国. The first character, 中, means middle or center. The second character, 国, means kingdom or country. So when you put them together, 中国 literally translates to the middle kingdom. And this isn't just some random name. It reflects a deeply ingrained worldview from Chinese history, where China was seen as the cultural and geographic center of the world. So the name itself gives you this incredible window into thousands of years of history. Okay, now let's look at the name for America, 美国, 美国. The name was originally chosen to sound like America, but the characters they chose are just fascinating. The first character, 美, means beautiful, and the second character, 国, is the one we already know, country. So in Mandarin, America is the beautiful country. And this is a really common practice in Chinese. When they create names for foreign places, they often pick characters that not only sound right, but also have these wonderful positive meanings. It's like a form of linguistic diplomacy, baked right into the name.
All right, we've done the detective work, we've identified the key character, and we've decoded the formula. So now let's put it all together and make sure it really sticks. This next slide is a table that organizes everything we've covered so you can see that pattern laid out crystal clear. This is a perfect tool for you to use for review.
Okay, let's just walk through this table together. First row, the country is 中国, you add rin, and you get the nationality, 中国人, Chinese. Simple. Second row, the country is 美国, add rin to get the nationality, make rin, American. Third row, the country is 日本, which is Japan. Add rin and you get 日本人, Japanese. And fourth row, the country is 英国, Britain. Add rin and you have 英国人, British. Do you see it? The consistency is just unwavering. In every single case, it's country plus rin. That is the power of a grammatical pattern. Master it once and you can use it forever.
This quote right here perfectly sets up the next, and I would argue most critical part of our lesson today. It's just not enough to know the grammar. We have to understand how that grammar is used out in the real world in a social context. The mechanics of a language are always, always intertwined with the culture that uses it.
So why does all this matter so much? Because if you are ever in a Chinese-speaking environment, one of the very first questions you will almost certainly be asked is, 你是哪国人? Let's just picture it. You meet a new classmate, a new colleague, and they'll probably come up to you with a friendly, curious smile and say, 你好,你是哪国人? Now, this literally means you are which country person, but it translates much more naturally to where are you from? Now, it is absolutely critical that you understand the subtext here. This question isn't meant to be nosy or intrusive. It's actually a fundamental tool for building a connection, for building rapport, what's known as guanxi. In Chinese culture, knowing someone's background is often the very first step to finding common ground. Your nationality gives them immediate context, and it opens the door to so many other friendly conversations about your hometown, about food, about culture. It's seen as the most common and polite way to start getting to know someone. Answering it well is key to building any kind of relationship, personal or professional.
So, we have moved from observation to analysis, and from the rules of grammar to the nuances of culture. Now comes the final and really the most important step, application. Knowledge only truly becomes yours when you can actively use it. So let's put your new understanding of this powerful pattern to the test.
On the screen is your final challenge for today. You now have the formula country plus run. The word for France in Mandarin is 法国, and it's pronounced 法国. So, based on everything we have just covered, how would you put those pieces together to say a French person? Think about that pattern. I'll leave you with that question to work on. Thank you all for your attention today.